It's 7 a.m. and you're waking up with Bo Bounds. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Stand by.
Stand by on this frequency.
For Out of Bounds with all the sports you love on The Zone, 105.9 and online at The Zone, 1059.com.
All right. Good morning on a Thursday. Welcome in. Out of bounds. 1059 The Zone, WRKS, ESPN. Powered by the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook. Super cool place. Download the PRR Sports app. Bet $50 there and play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $30. We are streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. Several different ways you can get in touch with us. Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-995-1059, 995-1059. Twitter handle at BoBounds. And the Mississippi Ag John Deere tractor text line is 601-885-3776. That is 885-3776. Blake Mania with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Happy Thursday. The weekend starts on Thursday, according to the Y'all Lifestyle. So get your mind right for this afternoon and this evening as you may cook your first feast of the week, so to speak. Speaking of Blakey Blakester, did you cook anything last night, Wild Man?
I did not. I had some wings, picked up some wings, and
picked up some wings. Wingstop,
man. No, I picked up some local wings from this little like shack out in Canton. Basically, I went.
Oh, that's cool.
Went north, and it was good, man. Little wings and some ranch and celery, and that was it's a good deal.
Did you eat that apple pie you were barking about yesterday?
Oh yeah, man. From Perkins in Memphis. So good.
Oh.
So good.
You know, when I was a kid, I'm not a big apple pie guy now, but when I was a kid, elementary, junior high, maybe high school, I can't remember. But man, I went on I think an 8 or 9 year run where I love some apple pie. Yeah. I haven't had any apple pie in years, but it's not something that I really think about. But so did all that make you more cut?
Oh man, no.
Physique?
I'm built like starting defensive lineman in the NFL.
Okay. Well, I was thinking like linebacker because like Demario Davis, Demario Davis from Brandon, Mississippi, and all-star linebacker for the New Orleans Saints and Who Dat Nation. That dude doesn't have an ounce of fat on him.
No, he's slightly in better shape than me, but just a small amount.
Right.
Small margin.
I think you should train with him in the off-season, see how that
I would die.
Yeah, he looks like a tailback and plays linebacker. Incredible. All right, so a little apple pie. Wings, so you went to some super dive up in Canton, huh?
Is there more American a meal than wings and apple pie?
No, there's
not.
I
think apple pie.
Did you have a glass of milk? Nonsense?
I wish. I do. I didn't have milk. If I'd known, I would have stopped and gotten some. I wasn't paying attention. But
and it would have had to been leaded, not unleaded.
That's right.
Okay.
I think, apple pie has to be the number one classic American dessert.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but I guess we do reference that, right?
Yeah.
How many times do you think Bobby Bowden at Florida State referenced apple pie to mamas and recruits when he was recruiting them?
Right.
And let me ask you this, speaking of recruiting, Blake. So we were talking, you and I got into this discussion yesterday and the day before on destination jobs in college football. And the first thing that I think of when I think of a destination job, I think of the Southern Cal Trojans. But can you imagine, you know how Bobby Bowden was considered just a phenomenal recruiter? Can you imagine having to talk on the phone for hours with 17-year-olds who don't know jack squat about jack squat, right? But can you imagine having to talk to them for hours and stand in one place because phones were mounted on a wall?
Oh, my gosh.
And you had a cord? I mean, seriously.
You had to be at your desk.
If you've got a list, right? Yeah. Let's just say you're doing your recruiting work at home sometimes. Today you can work at home and it's really cool, especially if you've got any space. I mean, if you've got your own space in your house, that's ideal. We saw throughout America where a lot of people had to, work at their breakfast room table and everybody else was walking around them. But take me back, 1985, Bobby Bowden's at his house, and he's got this list of 15 guys that he has to call. But you can't walk around the house or the neighborhood, or you can't even make phone calls on the way home, because you had landlines, and when you got home, you had a phone mounted on the wall or on a table, and you sat right there and did that. That's how Bear Bryant recruited,
That's incredible, too, to think about that. Like how you had to be your war room.
In one spot.
Your war room really was the war room. Like that's how you had to bunker down and we got to call all these kids today and everybody's on a different landline extension. I mean, that's incredible. That's when fax machines really meant something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's insane,
dude. And now we can find out that Tennessee loses half their team and 4 recruits on Twitter. That's fantastic. I can learn from my bathtub.
I would pay a lot of money to if somehow miraculously Coach Paul Bear Bryant could come back for just one day and you sat him down and you said, here's an iPhone and here's Twitter. And this is the way that people respond to their college football teams. I mean, it would have to blow his mind. What? He never heard from fans. He had no idea. If he lost, and he did lose some games, but if he lost a game that he wasn't supposed to lose, the Birmingham Herald or News, I mean, he had access to that, so he could get ripped by columnists there. And, of course, Feinbaum was one of the first, but that was late in his career. I want to say it was either his next to last year when Feinbaum started to take shots at Coach Paul Bear Bryant. But, obviously newspapers were huge at that point in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Mobile, whatever. But other than that, he had no idea. He had no idea what Sam and Craig and, Lacey and all these people thought about his coaching ability. Blake?
He would be the closest thing to Saban now, right? He probably would still stay off it.
Yes.
He was not going to be the Lane Kiffin, Mike Leach, send funny memes, have fun with people.
Right.
That would have been now Spurrier. If Spurrier would have come up now.
Do you know what he would have done to Philip Fulmer on Twitter in 1993, 4, 5, 6?
He'd have put out a Julius Caesar meme when Fulmer got the job. Just an E tu Brute.
Spurrier and Fulmer have run into each other at all these muckety-muck
off-season other
dinners. Well, Spurrier just looks down at him. I mean, he's just like, dude, y'all cheated to another level, okay? And I didn't, get into recruiting. I mean, Spurrier was not going to go home with a list of 15 guys and get on the phone. I mean, that was never going to happen, all right? 1. 2, Florida didn't. I mean, they may have dabbled in it, but they didn't cheat, especially compared to what is happening today. But Tennessee was throwing down in the streets for years, and in the 90s, they were doing the same thing they just got caught with the McDonald's with the cash in the McDonald's bags. And, McDonald's has not received this much good publicity since, 1981.
Since they used to sell real apple pies.
Oh, gosh.
It's all full circle.
Oh, good. Oh, man. Somebody said that Smokey, the Tennessee mascot, has entered the transfer portal. That's how bad it's getting in Knoxville. Holy Mary Olzeb. That was funny. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, is presented by Mississippi Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center. MississippiSportsMedicine.com. Any age, any sport, any injury. They've got you covered. Their new surgery center and clinic, Lakeland Drive, Flowood. Welcome in. Good morning. Out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone. Big Board coming up next.
Play Dancing Rabbit Golf right now and enjoy great low rates. The ultimate golf experience awaits you at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club's Oaks and Azaleas Championship courses. What better way to spend your day than at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club? And they have incredible discounts available online, as low as $35. And don't forget about Dancing Rabbit's amazing stay and play packages. Book your tee time for as low as $35 at dancingrabbitgolf.com. Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, the Augusta
Central Mississippi Sports Station. This is The Zone. On your radio at 105.9 and online. Welcome to The Zone, 1059.com. What's on the big board? What's on the big board?
Oh, good morning. The big board is brought to you by Mississippi Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center. New surgery center clinic, Lakeland Drive, Flowood, built for the patient. Also presented by Ace Bolt and Screw, powered by DeWalt Tools. Welcome in, welcome in. SEC baseball schedule was released. We'll discuss that. Maybe in the SEC Insider Hit. I got to get through the big board and some things going on right now and into the weekend with football. Thank goodness. It's like good and bad, right? I'm super last weekend was amazing. I just gobbled up the NFL. I hope you have too, because once it's gone, it's gone until Labor Day. Now we'll have fun with spring practice, and the NFL draft is amazing. We'll discuss all that with Elijah Moore and some other dudes. What will the quarterback room look like for all the teams? I think it's going to be insanity. But we got football this weekend with the NFC and AFC championship games on Sunday. And, again, I love the time slots. Perfect for cooking and hanging out and having a really, really good day of, a little over 6 hours of football, which is nice. But we will discuss the SEC baseball schedule. Ole Miss and Mississippi State preseason top 10. Loaded pitching staffs. Really, really good players all over the place. Everybody's loaded. I don't even know what will win it, man. I mean, will it end up being like, if you go 16-14, you're incredible? I mean, we've had years where teams have dropped 16-14 and went on to have a monster postseason. I mean, 17-13 would probably be just through the roof, dynamite type stuff. But we'll see how that looks. I can't wait. Hopefully we get at least 25% plus. And hopefully Keith Carter and John Cohen kind of run the numbers where they tag a bunch of stuff as premium and it doesn't really count, and get more people in and all that kind of good stuff. But we'll see. Well, it's not just them. I guess it is. The state officials will drop what they dropped. And then you can, let's just be honest, you can run your numbers several different ways. So we'll see how many areas in the stadium they label as premium, which then can kind of decide the attendance number and how it looks. One good thing is we get all the games. I guess maybe there's a few non-conference, but you get all the conference games on TV.
Yep.
And a lot of the non-con. So that's good. I mean, you're going to get to see your team play 30-plus times, or maybe even 40-plus times on a 56-game schedule, but 30-plus times, and that's a good thing because, man, you have some serious pro prospects in Starkville and Oxford. So that's exciting. And again, the starting dudes look great. I wish they would have gone to a 4-game series, but I understand they did what they had to do to make it all work.
So D1 Baseball came out with their rankings recently, and it has 9 SEC teams in the top 25 and 5 in the top 10, including Ole Miss at 6 and Mississippi State at 7. Florida is number 1 in the country.
Okay. The Florida Gators, baby. They have built a monster and finally got that coveted national title a couple of years ago. Oh, Sully Sullivan. Blake, the Blakey Blakester. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Tennessee facing multiple level 1 violations. This thing is an absolute grease fire, right? I mean, multiple level 1 violations. They'll have level 2s. They have really good players transferring left and right. So it will be interesting how they do this, how they approach the next step. AD, head coach, circle the wagons, stop the bleeding, and then where does the NCAA invest? How long does it take? And this will be played out in the press. That's not what you want to do, right? Florida just got dinged on some somewhat, minor stuff. Now, Mullen got a show cause, so he's got to be super careful. He bump into a junior and didn't immediately exit the room?
Yeah.
And so that's a no-no. If you're at a high school seeing a senior prospect and a junior comes around you, you literally have to run and kind of document it immediately. I mean, there can't be any, hey, how are you, blah, blah, blah. So, but Florida, what do I say, Blake, adjudicated that outside of the public knowledge or media. Right? I mean, Mississippi State did the same thing with Tutorgate. Ole Miss played theirs out through the press. Tennessee is going to play theirs. This could go on. I mean, the Knox News is on this. So they actually have the stones, right? The Clarion Ledger was not going to cover the Ole Miss NCAA investigation for whatever reason, okay? I guess, and that's the reason why they have really they're not relevant in the state. They don't go after big stories. But the Knox News, even though Tennessee and Tennessee football is the thing in the state of Tennessee, Knox News is I'm looking at another article right here. They're on it. And they don't just have one person on it. They have multiple people on it. So I'd have to believe that they're selling newspapers to people over 55 or 60 years old. And then they have a ton of people hitting their site, which is, pretty simple, called web traffic, and something that you would want. So I don't know how long this thing could go. Blake mentioned, well, do you think they'll know by Labor Day? I don't even know if they'll, will they be able to wrap it up and get on the quote-unquote docket with the Committee on Infractions? Sometimes that takes a long, long time because the committee's made up of, administrative officials and academia throughout this country. I guess you'll do it via Zoom still. I didn't even think about that. They usually fly in somewhere, right? I mean, Dallas or Indianapolis or somewhere and meet and kind of become the judge and jury of the whole thing. Then they got to go and meet and discuss and, what are we going to hit them with on how many level 1s and level 2s? I don't know. You would think they're looking at probably self-imposing a bowl ban, maybe even getting another one, and then Scally's, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, which this day and age is really bad. They don't seem to come in hard. Like the last one to get absolutely smoked, I think, was Southern Cal. What'd they get, 30 Scally's? I think that was it. 10, 10, and 10? Something like that. They ran the numbers over 3 years, cut them 10, 10, 10. Kiffin walked into that. He took the job after, Carroll left to go to the Seahawks. And he walked into where they were trying to balance all of that. So that's something to think about, too. SEC baseball schedule, NFC, AFC championship games, and Tennessee is staring down the barrel of probation, has no AD, no head coach. And then some of you won't care about this, but this is pretty incredible. The Pac-12 finally fired Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott, who did a terrible job leading the Pac-12. Let me give you some of the details. His salary was $5.3 million. He chartered jets and stayed in lavish hotel suites. He got a $1.9 million interest-free loan from the Pac-12 that, as far as anyone knows, Scott still hasn't made a single payment on. For decades, the Pac-12/Pac-10/Pac-8, depending on the time, operated in very modest means as far as what they rented. Their rent under Larry Scott was $7 million a year in a posh place in San Francisco. And he did a terrible job building the Pac-12 network, and then he gutted it. And the TV deals that the Pac-12 has basically means that you don't watch the Pac-12. You're listening now to Bounds, 105.9 The Zone. SEC Insider Hit coming up next. Live in the Mobile Bank Plus studio.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
This is.
Oh, man. Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott is out. $5.3 million a year salary, $7 million on rent for his super posh Pac-12 offices in super cool, well, I don't know about that, but San Francisco, along with bonuses and among other things. So Larry Scott, Pac-12 commissioner, is out. I'd have to believe probably a handful of y'all max. And this is Morning Drive, 7:30. This is when most of the time we have our largest audience listening. Don't watch any Pac-12 sports, especially football. A lot of it's because of what he did to the conference, or didn't do, for that matter. But terrible TV deals. You know, the Southeastern Conference, for you, your Rebels, Dogs, Alabama, LSU. You root for Auburn, A&M. Some of you just like the conference as a whole and pick several different teams to root for. Georgia, Florida, Bama. You have access to the Southeastern Conference on so many different platforms. Football, basketball, baseball. Women's hoops. I mean, the list goes on and on. SEC Network's well run. Makes money. The deal with ESPN/Disney has been great. CBS deal's going over to ABC, but the CBS deal's been amazing as far as the branding of the Southeastern Conference. Tournaments are run well. The commissioner actually cares about the presidents and the ADs and the student athletes. Sankey's not perfect by any stretch, but he's really good at what he does. We're not always going to agree with Commissioner Sankey, right? But that's just the way it is when you're leading a multi-billion-dollar conference in the SEC. But he does care. He doesn't rule like an emperor. I'm reading this article out of OregonLive.com on Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott, who's finally getting the boot. And, I mean, it's source after source in this article talking about how the guy's basically a terrible human being. Didn't care about going to campus, cultivating relationships with presidents and chancellors and ADs and coaches, understanding how hard it is and how difficult it is to win at this level. Tennis, golf, football, basketball. Sankey's been everywhere. He's, and pre-COVID, a traveling machine. I mean, I'll give you an example. Some of you may eye roll. When I was walking into Madison Square Garden a couple of years ago when Mississippi State was playing in the NIT semifinals against Penn State, I walked in with Commissioner Sankey. So he was there representing the SEC as there was an SEC team in Madison Square Garden. He immediately walked in. We chatted for a little while, took an elevator, went blah, blah, blah. he broke to the left. John Cohen was about 50 feet from us. He went over, talked to Cohen for like an hour. That's what you do, whoever it was. And that's good leadership. I mean, our conference is not perfect, but, man, it's a lot of fun. We have a great time. We celebrate it Labor Day through Memorial Day, at least, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball. And then as Blake referenced earlier, we had 6 teams in the top 10 or something like that. Mississippi State and Ole Miss preseason, top 10 baseball squads. And so we're just building golf, tennis, softball, powerhouses, track and field. The list goes on and on. Pac-12 just fired their commissioner, and he's been taking a $5.3 million salary. Their rent for the Pac-12 corporate offices is $7 million a year.
Huh.
$7 million a year. He got a $1.9 million loan and interest-free. And as far as they know, he hasn't made a payment on it. Blake, how about that?
I think it's incredible. I think here's something, Bo. I see Big Ten volleyball and SEC swimming on TV more than I see Pac-12 football on TV. If you want to just boil down what Larry Scott's contribution to his conference is, I watch more alternate female male sports in SEC, Big Ten, ACC. I see that on TV more often than I see the biggest sport in college athletics for the Pac-12.
I mean, does anybody know where you go to get the Pac-12 network? I mean, do you have to go to, like, Antarctica?
Blockbuster.
Find it under a rock? I don't know. I mean, where would you get it? It'd be funny. You could probably go to Los Angeles today, check into a really cool hotel.
Yeah, that has all the packages.
Yeah, and not have the Pac-12 network.
I 1,000% believe that to be accurate.
There may be 10,000 people in the metro area of L.A. that have access to the Pac-12 network. You know, it's insane. $5.3 million a year salary, $7 million in rent for the Pac-12 offices, $7 million. And he received a $1.9 million loan from the Pac-12, interest-free. And as far as people know, according to this article, OregonLive.com, he has yet to make a payment on it.
Okay.
And let's see, private jets and lavish hotel suites for Larry Scott. Just thought I'd share that with you. So the SEC, run well, was able to lead through COVID, play ball. I mean, the Pac-12 didn't even really play football this year. I can't imagine how much their losses will be because of COVID. The SEC did everything in their power to play a ton of games, and they did. They even pulled off their SEC championship game, which is a huge moneymaker. Obviously got a team in the college football playoff. Bama won it. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, among other teams, played in bowl games. And we're playing college basketball, and college baseball is literally around the corner. I mean, Bianco and Lamonis's teams, if they're not practicing right now, they will practice at some point today. That's exciting. That's leadership by Greg Sankey. So if you want to check out that article, it's on OregonLive.com. And let's see, John Canzano wrote it. He's a heck of a writer, by the way, out on the West Coast.
Can I give you some interesting numbers, Bo? In 2019, the SEC network listed 70 million household subscriptions.
All right.
70 million. In 2019, the Pac-12 network listed 19 million household subscribers. So that's a 50 million household discrepancy. Also, the Pac-12 network, after their 2019 fiscal year, was on a 7% decrease since the network's peak in 2016. And here are some of the channels that get better ratings than the Pac-12 network. Okay, you ready? Fox Deportes, ESPN Deportes, Boomerang, which is a cartoon channel, Justice Central, the Outdoor Channel, the Ovation Network, the Smithsonian Channel, which is literally a TV about museums. It's a TV show about museums that does better than the Pac-12's athletic show.
Wow.
Just some interesting fun facts on an article I found about how poorly the Pac-12 network is doing currently.
That is fantastic. I didn't even know some of those channels were around.
Exactly.
But
that's the point.
So we have 70 million households.
And that was over a year. Like, I don't know what the 2020 number will be. It's probably bigger since more people couldn't go.
Well, that's true.
You know?
So, and think about it. They have all these big cities. You know, our footprint is not loaded with major. There's a few, but we're not loaded with major metropolitan areas. You're listening Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. You think about the Pac-12, you got Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, L.A.
L.A. alone
Phoenix,
can do more than half
Denver.
our conference.
Right, Salt Lake City. And so they're in 19 million households, so to speak, or whatever you want to say, devices, maybe a combo. And we're in 70-plus million. That's all you need to know about the way that the Southeastern Conference leadership has been able to modernize the comp through TV deals and the SEC network and what the Pac-12 has done. I mean, they're totally irrelevant. The Southern Cal is their beast. Nothing. Y'all, the overwhelming majority of you have not watched Southern Cal football in years. Some of you haven't watched since, Texas and Southern Cal and whatever that was, 05, when Mac Brown and Texas pulled off that upset, two loaded teams. I mean, that's 15 years ago, 16. And, I don't expect them to be a part of to have a team that is a part of the national championship discussion this year in 2021.
Bo, in 2018, the Pac-12 network paid out $2.6 million. That's less than the average $8 million payout BYU holds with its TV contract with ESPN.
BYU, an independent,
has a better TV deal with ESPN than the whole Pac-12 network.
Wow, that's not affiliated with the conference.
Incredible.
Has a better deal than Southern Cal. Say that out loud.
Is there an example to bring it back to Mississippi? Like, what's the closest level of just incompetency we've seen from something of this level? Like what Larry Scott
you
did.
mentioned earlier.
Okay,
let's drop the Erkslavin. Let's do this. This is gonna be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the Russell Erkslavin Award of Erkscellence. All to honor the ludicrous, the preposterous, and the downright.
You're so stupid!
In the world of sports.
How many do I need to give out?
I want to know who locally gets one.
Okay. Oh, who locally? All right, let me start with, obviously, Larry Scott and the Pac-12 presidents and ADs that have allowed him to serve for this long and make $5.3 million a year, get a $1.9 million interest-free loan, and hasn't made a payment according to OregonLive.com, and also pick out super, super posh high-end real estate in San Francisco and pay $7 million a year in rent for the Pac-12 corporate offices. So that's Erkslavin Award of Excellence #1 award. #2, got to go with Tennessee. Now, how many am I going to give out here with Tennessee? Philip Fulmer, Jeremy Pruitt. Should we give them to the McDonald's bags that were stuffed with cash? I mean, we could go on and on.
They were the only ones doing their jobs.
It's just, well, that's a great point. Hey, guys, we've got a bunch of McDonald's bags full of cash for our recruits. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And the question is, can McDonald's take advantage? See, Wendy's is so well run on social media. They have one of the best, snarkiest Twitter accounts, but very, very smart and witty. Well, you could argue it is the best. It is one of the best Twitter accounts out there. And Wendy's takes shots at McDonald's. I don't even know if McDonald's is on Twitter. If they are, it's run poorly like the Pac-12. But Wendy's hammers McDonald's. That's what the SEC network Twitter feed should do. Start dinging the Pac-12. That would be great. All right, that's another Erxleben. Blake wants to go local.
Well, I'm just thinking with Larry Scott, that type of leadership is Phil Fulmer is somewhat. I mean, it's bad leadership, but it's a little bit different style. Larry Scott was like the self-indulgent. I'm only here to fatten up my pockets, and I'm not worried about even pretending to care about what I'm doing. Is there anybody locally who would fit that bill, even if it wasn't just the most recent person? But like, I'm trying to think of who we've had come through the state that would fit that bill.
Well, I think Ole Miss fans would say Jeffrey Vitter and Ross Bjork.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, as far as Erxleben, but that was a while back now. I mean, we're removed from that, and they're turning the page and have new leadership. That's a good question locally where I would go in the Mississippi footprint as far as Erxleben Award of Excellence. But I feel confident that we could come up with something. I guess some people would say Joe Moorhead.
Oh.
Well, that's not been about a year removed, right?
That's
A year
tough.
and a couple of weeks. What, do you not agree?
No,
that
I
could be in
think
consideration?
he definitely would be in consideration. Although you could argue he should have never been given the job, the opportunity. You had a roster ready to go with the head coach who'd never been a head coach at a Power 5, even a G5 level.
Yeah. Wherever
Moorhead.
he wasn't G5, right? They
Yeah,
were more
Fordham.
like division.
He was at Fordham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Fordham.
Doggone says the Clarion Liar deserves an award.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you could give, that'd be a great one. The Clarion Ledger, Erxleben Award of Excellence. That's fair enough.
The project manager for Highway 49.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
That's the most accurate. You want to talk about a guy who's been getting rich while doing nothing?
Oh, man. Hopefully that thing is close. I mean, what else do you say about that? That thing's been going on forever. Or I guess it really should have started forever ago. We just think it's been going on forever.
It feels like it's
Like
been
it should
going
have
on
started
forever.
in 1995, but they didn't start it until a couple of years ago. Something like that. What about like the Houston Texans ownership?
Ooh.
The way this Deshaun Watson thing is going, as far as Jerry Jones could get an Erxleben Award of Excellence for you, right?
Yeah, he deserves one.
I mean,
100%.
they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon because Jerry's not going to allow it. Didn't Kellen Moore, Dak's offensive coordinator, interview for was it the Jets job, Blake?
Yeah, no, it was the Eagles' job.
Eagles.
Because, see, right now, Philadelphia and Houston are the only two teams without a new head coach. Of the seven job openings available, the only two left are Houston and Philadelphia, and they're by far and away the worst options.
All right. SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by RPT and Rick's Pro Truck. Spray and bed liners, lift kits, you name it, they've got it. Accessorize your vehicle bumper to bumper, truck, SUV, Jeep. Rick's Pro Truck, new location, Gluckstadt, Madison County. ricksprotruck.com. Blake Mania with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Hope you're doing well. We're having fun here on a Thursday as we head into a weekend of AFC, NFC championship game. Y'all know the drill. Bills at the Chiefs. And then this is interesting. Tampa Bay at Green Bay. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers on Sunday. And, Brady's kind of playing with house money. Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot of – man, you don't want to lose to Brady. Brady comes into Tampa Bay. They've kind of got a lot of people shuffling in. Bruce Arians is not a bad he's not a bad coach by any stretch, but he's not considered anything special. And this could be Aaron's last shot. You don't ever know. I mean, you really need to get back to the Super Bowl, play Mahomes, I guess, if the Bills don't pull off an upset, play Mahomes and try to make this thing and try to get your second Super Bowl ring. Don't you think, Blake?
Yeah, because
as far as legacy, there's more on the line for Aaron Rodgers.
1,000 times over, there's more on the line for Aaron Rodgers. And also, you look at Drew Brees, okay? We thought he was on the doorstep to a Super Bowl for what feels like the last 5 seasons almost at this point.
Right.
But look how quickly those 5 seasons came and went. you didn't get one, and then it goes out on a way you don't feel like it should have. Aaron Rodgers is not that far removed from being in the same boat as Drew Brees finds himself in now. Waking up 5 years from now and going, dang, I just missed my second one.
Right. Drew Brees, man. Look at the Saints. They're getting gutted. Are they going to be able to flip this? I don't know.
It's the single.
Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, WRKS. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. SEC Insider Hit this morning, brought to you by your next John Deere tractor at Mississippi Ag. Want to welcome you in. We're recapping some of the things today. A.J. Brown, did you see where he's getting both of his knees scoped type deal?
Yeah, had surgery on both of them. They said he was supposed to be out like week 3 or something like that, and he didn't do it.
Man, is that guy a dude and a warrior or what? I saw that yesterday, and I was like, holy smokes. This guy is he said he should have been out from week 2 on. You think he had a great year or what? Can you imagine if he has 2 healthy legs next year throughout the season? I mean, I didn't think, when he was running away from DBs, from corners and safeties, he didn't look like a guy to me that needed 2 knee surgeries.
Yeah, that
procedures.
That was remarkable.
Dan Patrick and the Danettes debated surgeries and procedures yesterday. I thought it was pretty funny. What's a surgery and what's a procedure? I think it was maybe a spinoff of. They were talking about Mahomes. Didn't you just tell me Mahomes practiced this week?
Yeah, full participant. Full participant yesterday. Yeah, I think he's healthy.
So there you go there.
I think he's good.
All right.
We got a hilarious text. QB1 says the guy who stole Deion's boombox then turned himself in to get a reward deserves an Erksleben award.
Okay, hold on. Let's walk everybody through this.
That's a great
story. Did that
story.
really happen first? All right, so Deion Sanders was staying at a hotel in the Jackson metro area, and somebody breaks into his ride, and they steal several things, but there's something that's sentimental to him. I mean, the other things you can get replaced, either money or insurance, right? But there's a boom box that was sentimental to him. So he puts out a reward?
Yeah, basically kind of put out a hotline, said, if you have any information, I'll reward you for helping me find it.
And the guy who stole the stuff goes on the site and enters his information, and they eventually catch him?
Allegedly, that's the idea. Is the story is that they put that out there, and then the guy basically turned himself in, not on purpose, was trying to, I guess, pass off that he just knew who had it or found it or something like that. But yeah, basically it matched up that it was his truck on camera or whatever, and yeah, they got him. That's the story that's being told right now. Hilarious.
Oh my! I need confirmation on this for our listeners. Mississippi Ag John Deere tractor text line is 601-885-3776. I saw Matt Wyatt was tweeting it, but I'm on the road and I didn't get to really lock in on this. I know that Deion's vehicle was broken into and that he set up something where if you had any information, you could enter it in, right, on a site or something. Did the guy who stole the stuff really enter his information and catch himself?
I believe so. That's incredible.
This is amazing. Oh, this is so So Deion is Deion still the head football coach for Jackson State?
I think so.
Okay. And is this 6-game SWAC season still in play? I mean, are we doing this?
I haven't even heard anything about it since almost a month into the year, and you haven't heard anything about it.
Interesting. So what if the SWAC actually plays 6 games this late winter and spring? And Deion saying, here's the deal though, you don't want Deion to go 1-5 or 2-4, because there's a good chance he'll find something else to do, right? He's already got too many other things to do to really be focused like you need to be on the job. But the last thing you need is for him to go 2-4, because then he may go, I don't really want to hang out till Labor Day and see how this thing rolls out. Would it be in the best interest of Jackson State to not have this spring football and somehow maybe it gets moved back and they just move it to the fall 2021 season? Your thoughts. Mississippi Ag text line 601-885-3776. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, is powered by Mississippi Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center.